Hello, this is Dr. T from Human Mental Clinic. Today we have a topic that will be interesting for most of you. It is about um, gardening and as a way of therapy. And today we have our lovely friend here who's going to show us this beautiful garden and how it came to be. Really a therapy for her in a significantly important part of her life when she really needed some healing. All of this, she said, and gorgeous, gorgeous. We have tomatoes. The colors are stunning. It's really like a sanctuary here. There are many different colors. Look at the tomatoes. Oh my God. Gorgeous. So many different colors. She has pottings. And yeah, it's so amazing. And we're going to meet. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you,
Good.
Good.
Okay, so tell us. Would you like to share just, first of all, you also are a social media sensation.
I don't know about a sensation, but I have grown to enjoy it a little bit.
So today we're going to have a little chat about how this garden came to be.
Okay.
I wanted to know, when did you establish this garden?
My husband, I started out for a Mother's Day present because I've always had pots. I did tomatoes and stuff like that, so I always had that on the deck or whatever.
Okay.
And so I was like, I want an above ground, bed.
Okay.
So Mother's Day about 3 years ago, that was my Mother's Day present. He built some above ground beds over at the house.
Okay.
And from there, I got one of those wonderful greenhouses, those, were they portable or whatever, greenhouses. And so that lasted for about a year.
Okay.
And then about 2 years ago, because this is my second year here, he said that this was going to be my birthday present.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And your husband, he has background in
None of this.
Not gardening.
No.
Okay. All right. All right.
None of this.
None of this. Okay.
No.
So I guess he just saw you enjoyed it and he wanted to share that.
Yes.
So the very first time though you kind of established some level of gardening was around 2018?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And prior to that, did you have a really intense desire to make this type of
not this.
Okay.
No. Like I said, just a container garden,
Okay.
and just small stuff.
Okay. How about growing up? Did you grow up around gardening?
My uncle had a farm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so my uncle had a farm and peas and all that wonderful stuff. We used to have to pick peas and okra and all that stuff that, I thought as a kid it was crazy.
Yeah.
But now all that stuff is, and how nutritious it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those same peas that I didn't want to go out to the field to pick, now I'm planting them.
That's amazing. Now, I know previously with our discussion, you said this garden has been therapeutic to you.
Very much so. As you know, Alan, I lost my son in May of 2018 on our 33rd anniversary.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were out of town that
Yes.
day.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had just flew back in from Vegas. We went to Vegas for the first time for our anniversary, and we flew back in that night. And always do what is in your heart to do, and do it immediately. Because I kept wanting to text him or call him, and I kept saying, no, I'll see him tomorrow. I'll see him tomorrow, because his stepdaughter, my little granddaughter, my little step granddaughter, was graduating on our anniversary the next day. So that's why, we made sure to come home so we would be here for the graduation. And yeah, tomorrow never came.
Never came.
It
Yes.
never came.
Yeah, that was a really tremendously, it was a hard time for everybody around.
Yes.
Including for myself.
I know. I tell you, my heart just broke for you. I was going like, oh my goodness, my heart is breaking, but yes.
Yeah. But then this miraculous thing happened where when in the moment you were looking for healing, somehow your husband seemed to have that.
I believe that that the Lord prompted him to do this because I didn't ask him, not for this.
Right.
And the Lord prompted him. He was obedient, to that prompting. And this garden has saved my life on numerous occasions because it's been a journey. It's been 4 years. May was 4 years. And every day it starts over again.
Yeah, I know.
Every day it starts over again. I'm gonna move this, but I
Yes,
think you were having a
smoking.
problem with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep the mosquitoes from eating us alive. I don't want to choke you out over there. But yeah,
And the first couple of years were very tough, especially and had so much happening at work that was similar to that, added to the whole environment. But this beautiful garden came to be such a savior, right?
Yes,
so
it really did. I think in the beginning it was just the busyness of it.
Okay.
Just somewhere else to put my focus.
Yes.
And then as it started to come together, and it's always going to be work, of course, but as the work came more not work because it was enjoyable, it became obvious that this was my refuge. This is where I found peace. This is where I could say what I wanted to say, or scream, or cry, or, yeah.
And you had your peace, your own solitude, without anybody saying,
anything.
Whatever.
No.
Yeah.
Nobody trying to fix me. Nobody trying to fix it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Therapy is a wonderful thing. I've been in therapy. I have a wonderful counselor, and she has helped me tremendously.
Yes.
But she can't be with me 24/7.
That's right.
So, yeah.
So, what do you think? What did you get out of that? Yes, solitude. Were there specific messages or lessons that were coming through in this moment?
Yes. Just yesterday, I came out. I was wanting to make a salad, and that is so wonderful. Just to be able to come out and pick your own stuff for a salad. I had cucumbers in the house because, as you can see, they're doing their thing. But I needed some tomatoes, so I come out and I'm picking the little cherry tomatoes, and it just it came to me, that the Lord always provides. He always provides, and all we have to do is ask for it, so that has been a great lesson, and never being alone, because a lot of times I just felt alone because you feel like nobody understands,
But you always had the presence of the Creator.
Yes.
Within you. Yes. And also the spirit of your son is
always. Yes, always. He left me 2 beautiful grandchildren.
That's right.
Who I enjoy tremendously. My oldest one, that Caden, is he's a teenager now, so needless to say, at 16, he's not hanging around grandma in the garden. But my 6-year-old, my granddaughter, she loves to be here, and we have a good time together. And me and Brian's dad, we see him in her. Well, in both of them, but because we see her more often, we see him in her. And is yeah, she's a great sense of joy, a great sense of joy. And so many times I'm out here and I'm doing something and I can hear him say, speak to me, or whatever and stuff. Or I remember something that he would have said, like, oh, sometimes I'm out here and I'm just like, you know, in my real feelings, and I'm feeling sorry for myself, and I can hear him say, Mom, because I hear, Mom, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm sad. I miss you, and I hear, Mom, you got, what, go pick up Grace, or something. I'm like, would you just leave me alone? Can I just have 10 minutes to feel sorry for myself?
Yeah. So definitely his spirit and presence are felt.
He would have loved this. He would have absolutely.
Was he a gardener?
He was a cook.
Oh
my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's weird how, he started out with, I'm teaching him to cook, and then he wound up, he's a better cook than I was. I'd rather have, eaten his food than my own, but he loved fresh vegetables. Loved fresh vegetables.
Well, maybe that's where the inspiration, the connection is.
I believe so. A lot, yeah.
So what would you say that, in just like if one thing represents this garden to you, what does it represent?
This garden represents when it's love.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know another word for it, but that's exactly what I call it. I call it my love garden.
Yes.
Because I know that my husband built it in love.
Yes.
The work that has been done out here has been in love.
And a loving memory of your
loving memory, loving lots of memories. Yeah. So yeah.
What would you say, gardening? I know now you're really into it, and obviously it shows your effort into it. How has it benefited you, like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Is there a role of gardening in that realm?
In all of those things, Alan. Physically, it does get me out of that house sometimes. My family worry about that. I love being inside. I love my home. My home is created and designed for my comfort, so I'm totally okay with being there. But it gives me a chance, to get out and commute. I don't know how anyone can come out and see all of this and not believe that there's a creator.
That's right.
It's very evident when I come out here that there is a God, that He created all these beautiful things, and all of these things created for beauty and the healing of our souls and our bodies and our minds. Just the fresh air and being able to be in this dirt, in this soil. All of that brings peace. There are so many hormones and pheromones and everything that get stirred up.
That's right.
When when I'm out here, in this garden. So
when you're in touch with the earth, there's a whole science or a belief about, they call it earthing, or grounding. I think earthing, basically getting in contact with the earth, barefoot or hand. There's some electrical fields that is within the earth that really grounds us, and also they were saying there's healing power into it.
And it's true.
Do you feel that? Have you felt a
I do. Yes, I do. I think that you're aware, I have connective tissue disease, so it's chronic pain. Honestly, there's not a day that I don't wake up and I'm not in pain, but honestly, this gives me purpose, because, nothing can plant itself. Nothing can weed itself. Nothing can take off these dead leaves, which I got to do today. All this stuff, gives me purpose. It gives me something. Actually, it feels like someone to take care of. My daughter-in-law tells me, and says, she said, you're always going to be somebody's mom. You know, she said, because you're going to always play that role. I don't know how that happens, but she's probably right. But it does give me purpose. It does. It's healing for my soul, because when everything's not right, um, when my soul is low, when my spirit is in mourning, I can come out here and be close to God, to the memories of my son, to my own thoughts. So there's deep healing and spiritual healing, and physical healing, and the connection. I think that COVID might have been bad for everybody else, but the quietness.
Yes. Reflection.
Oh my gosh.
Going within, deeper. Yes.
Yes.
Same here. Same here.
Yes.
It has been one of the most pivotal moments. Yes, for many people, and unfortunately, in the most devastating. But you could also find it more deeper. I think more connected. I think it has changed a lot of people profoundly for the better.
Yes.
Once you get through that hump of, your bees are getting me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Look, those are my wonderful little yellow jackets. They're pollinators, but they're not nice.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so just, don't. Now, yellow jackets, I don't know how many people know this, but yellow jackets I always say that they're retaliatory, because that's my word. But that's because if they feel like, you are trying to harm them, then they will strike back. Don't say that. No. No, I'm just saying. That's why I always tell my daughter, my granddaughter and stuff, just be still.
Yes,
because they're not really, they can't pollinate you.
Right.
So as soon as they figure out, well, that's nothing, then they'll just go ahead and go about their business. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but I want to say, knowing you for so many years, it is really difficult to hear, or surprising to hear, you are in pain. This lady is such a strong, faithful, positive being. No one would ever know she is in pain. Always positive. She's just such a solid human being.
Thank you.
Of faith and just genuinely goodness. Truly. And that, this garden shows that not everybody can grow a garden. Did you know that?
I have become aware.
It is your energy and your spirit, and that connectiveness to the Creator that allows you to create, right?
I believe that.
Yeah. So we'll be right back.